Hello my friends and welcome back. You know what day it is? It's Friday. I've been waiting for this for so long. I didn't sleep quite good today, so it has been a hell of a work week for me. So when this day ends, I'm telling you, I'm going to a bar. I wanna just relax, have a cold one, and that's it. If you agree with me, I know over half of you do. Today is a big day because I'll be launching a new mission to Ukraine. I'll be publishing it in this video, but before that, we will jump to Russia. Yes, because Ukraine commenced the biggest drone attack they have ever commenced against Russia. Usually it is Russia who sends hundreds of drones into Ukraine, but today it was vice versa. Ukraine sent over 90 drones, you heard correctly, 90 at once. A swarm of drones flying into Russian targets. Many targets were hit. At one specific location in Morozovsk airfield, there were over 60 explosions. 40 drones in Morozovsk, 50 in Rostov. Russian channels Guardian of the Sky says, unfortunately, there was hits in the city of Morozovsk. So explosions everywhere. Ukraine has been able to get their drone production running in such an extent that they can mirror Russian huge attacks against Ukraine. Well, now it's Ukrainian huge attacks against Russian targets. You reap what you sow, quite literally in this attack. The channel says that our airfield was hit. An electrical substation was damaged. Tonight the Rostov region was attacked approximately by 50 UAVs. And, by the way, in Morozovsk, the surrounding urbanized areas lost electricity because the electrical substation also got hit. So Ukraine is just mirroring Russian attacks. After 2 years of getting pummeled by Russian drones, they are now mirroring these attacks. So Russian people firstly feel what this war is about, feel what their government is doing to the neighboring country. So in that case, they share the collective responsibility because now they cannot run away from the responsibility. They cannot run away from this war because Ukraine is making sure they can't. 90 drones into Russia, feel what we feel. By the way, the Morozovsk airfield was defended by Russian Pantsir-S mobile air defense system, but videos released showed that at least some drones got to the targets. The airfield hosts Su-34 bombers which drop gliding bombs on Ukrainian targets, as well as Su-35 fighters. The surrounding settlements also lost electricity. Su-34 bombers are one of the newest in the Russian Air Force, and same to Su-35 fighters, also one of the newest, because the Su-57 as well as the 14 Armata, the tank, these are Russian Wunderwaffe that don't exist and they have no real standing in this war. And this airfield has tens of each kind, so it's a very juicy steak of a target with 50 drones targeting it. So in the next coming days, in the weekend, I'll be having my cold brewski, as the Canadians say, and I'll be scrolling my Twitter or X, and I'll be looking, okay, 10 Su-34s knocked out cold. I would love to see that tomorrow when I wake up, or tonight at the bar. Alright my friends, the moment is here. First fundraiser for Ukraine in 2024. I went to Ukraine in January 2024 this year, but this was to deliver the Christmas fundraiser of last year. Now we're gonna do a first mission and you get to be a part of it. This is different. You know why? Because we're buying drones and cars. Of course we are, but these drones are made in Estonia. The fully Estonian production, fully NATO production, NATO standards. There's nothing Chinese in them. Let's make it happen, my friends. Here's the video for you. Let's go. Hello my friends, and for the first time I'm not making a fundraiser video for you from Ukraine, but from Estonia, my home country. I am in front of Kraftwerks, an Estonian drone company, and they have produced something extremely beautiful for us. What is this? This is not a DJI drone, it is not a Chinese-made drone, it is an Estonian-made drone with Estonian technology. It's a thermal drone with a range of 20 kilometers. It's a recon drone. It's everything that right now is done in Ukraine by Chinese drones, and that is bad because Russia and China, they do exchange intelligence. This is our weapon against that alliance. This is the West versus the new axis, which is Russia and China. And my friends, I will call upon you to donate on this new campaign, which is called the Combined Arms Birthday Party, because my birthday party is coming up on 24th of April. Buy 5 of these new drones. We will send them to Ukrainian elite forces, elite drone operators. They will test them out, and this will be the main alternative to the DJI, a non-Chinese, an Estonian product, safe NATO product for Ukrainian troops to use their recon abilities on. This drone will guide FPV drones to Russian positions and Russian tanks, and it will save lives directly. Donation link is in the description below. Through donating, you will help to liberate Ukrainian territory, one destroyed Russian tank at a time. Let's do it, my friends, like you have done it many times before. Slava Ukraini! The donation link is in the description below. Go and check it out. My birthday is coming up, so I'm creating a birthday fundraiser for Ukraine. Everything you will donate will be put into the pool and bought drones and trucks, Rehi trucks and Rehi drones. And I will make videos for you about each step of this process up until the delivery and handover of these trucks and drones. You will see it all on my channel, as you always do. My friends, big bombshell of a news comes out of the NATO countries and NATO alliance, because NATO countries decided to create an alliance mission in Ukraine. This decision was taken yesterday. This was stated by the head of the Polish Foreign Ministry. According to the foreign minister, the creation of the mission does not mean directly entry into the conflict, but it does mean that we will now be able to use NATO's coordination, training, planning capabilities to support Ukraine in a more coordinated way. He explained in particular that more Ukrainian military personnel will be trained in Poland. Now this is what is a huge difference here. It's not a NATO mission, it's NATO countries' mission, meaning that these countries who are taking part in this mission are in NATO, but the mission itself is a separate alliance made by countries that are in NATO that have a separate, fully separate alliance for Ukraine. You know why it cannot be a NATO alliance? Because the United States is in NATO and they right now want to focus more on internal politics, which means you cannot officially call it a NATO alliance. It's just an alliance for Ukraine by countries who are in NATO, if you get what I mean. It's really good, and that's not it. The next one is even more bombshell of a news. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Britain, France and Northern European countries are preparing to send troops to Ukraine. This is said by the United States State Department consultant Edward Luttwak. They don't throw away words. They warned about the full-scale invasion. They warned about the Moscow thing that happened recently. Now they're saying that Britain and France and some Northern European countries are preparing to send troops into Ukraine. I welcome this news with 2 open arms. About time. About time we show the Russians that we can stand our own, we can defend ourselves, and that we are not reliant on United States for our own defense. It's our borders and our Europe, and we have all the capabilities to make it so. European Union, the countries combined, have an insane amount of monetary capabilities for military. It comes down to a political decision. Okay, we allocate these funds to the military. We decide to protect our borders. If this decision is made, no country in the world can get against unified Europe, except for the United States. That's not a top. Now, my friends, we'll go back to the Ukrainian drone strike against Russia. Remember recently, Ukraine struck a Russian factory 1,200 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border in Tatarstan, occupied Republic of Tatarstan, under Russian Federation. There was a Shahed factory, and we saw a video of it, which I cannot show, but it's in the description, all the links are. A huge plane-looking drone flew into, very slowly and loudly, flew into the Shahed factory. Huge kaboom, beautiful fireworks. But this drone looked more like a small plane. Well, now we have a photo of it, what it was really. It looks so junky, so like put together in a garage. Look at this. It looks like you could make this out of cardboard and duct tape, but it carries 300 kilograms of explosives. This is the first photo of Ukrainian kamikaze drone E-300 Enterprise with a warhead of 300 kilograms, which probably recently attacked the dormitory of the Shahed production plant in Tatarstan. The thing is, Shahed kamikaze drone carries 40 kilograms of explosives, and that makes a huge explosion. That is very deadly if it hits. Mostly it doesn't, but if it does, it's really bad. Now this one is almost 10 times bigger. Ukrainian version of it, and it's long range, and by the looks of it, it has to be cheap and very mass producible, otherwise it wouldn't look so janky. But it's a marvel of engineering. It's not about the looks in this case, it's about what it can do and how much can you produce and how fast. Now, my friends, we'll talk more about NATO because this conflict is spreading wider and wider. It's not only localized in Ukraine now, it's spreading everywhere, including African countries like Sudan. We have videos of Ukrainian special forces operating in Sudan against Russian operatives. But now we'll jump to Sweden though, because this is one of the most important part about Northern European security. Gotland versus Russian Kaliningrad, this one right here. I mean, it used to be Königsberg under Prussia, but now it's fully under Russia. Gotland, it's said by almost everybody who knows anything about navies that whoever controls Gotland controls the Baltic Sea and has the naval supremacy and also air supremacy around the Baltic Sea, because you can base your ships off of that island, you can base your airplanes off of the airfields in that island, you can have it as a supply hub for your enormous military, and this is what we're actually talking about here, because Sweden plans to create a NATO base on the island of Gotland. Right now this island was semi-militarized by Sweden, now they're militarizing it more heavily, but now they decided to go full haywire. Okay, let's create a full NATO base in it. And this NATO base will have a huge range. There will have missiles, planes, everything, anti-air defense systems. This is a very heavily militarized balancing factor to the Russian Kaliningrad Oblast, which is the most militarized area of the Russian Federation. There are nuclear warheads here, there are long-range, short-range missiles, everything. There are huge jammers, stationary jammers that jam the whole Baltic area and actually disrupt the airplanes flying around, civilian airplanes. It's really bad. So Gotland can be a balancing factor to it. Russia is really afraid of it because this means they will lose their Kaliningrad Oblast in the future. Up until now, there was no balancing factor to Kaliningrad. Russian foreign minister considers the intentions a provocation. Ooh, Russians feel provocated. Pew. Silence. Which means it hurts them a lot, yay. It is absolutely the right thing to do. Finland should do the same with Åland Island to minimize the Russian threat. Yeah, these islands, these Finnish islands right here, for example, and Estonian Human Saaremaa, all of these, I call it, militarize the hell out of them. Like, make every last bit of them a fort. This is a small price to pay for a country's freedom. Do it. Talking about Finland though, they have had enough. Simo Hauha from the grave, the White Death, has switched to other side because he has also had enough. Finland announced it's closing its border with Russia indefinitely. I love this word, indefinitely. This is the formation of the new Iron Curtain in front of our eyes. You look at history books or you look at your history teacher talking about Iron Curtain, Berlin Wall. What was it? It's about my parents' and grandparents' generation. I don't care. It's happening right now. Right now, in 100 years, people will learn that in 2024, it was the formation of the new Iron Curtain, what they called it. And we are here to witness it. So let's witness it, my friends. The decision was taken in response to Russia pushing flows of illegal migrants towards Finland in a form of hybrid warfare. And they're also given bicycles to cross into Finland. That's it. Just take the bicycle and go. Russia has also used weaponized migration against Estonia. So now Finland, with one of the newest NATO countries, with a border of 1,000 kilometers with Russia and the Murmansk Oblast, where the Russian nuclear submarines are stationed, that border is now fully closed indefinitely. Like, it's an Iron Curtain. Nothing goes through it now. You cannot go through. And in Estonia also, I'm quite sure they will close it very fast. Latvia, Lithuania will do the same. And then we have from the northern part of Finland up until down to the south part of Lithuania. And we have the new Iron Curtain. It's closed. My friends, another rail accident happened in Moscow. Look at these photos. How many accidents will happen in Russia? Rail accidents. What, they don't manage the rail, or they allow two trains to ride against each other? I mean, this is what happened when a passenger train and another locomotive just went bang, head to head. And I mean, there's obviously injured here if it's a passenger train. But how so many of them happen? This is not even sabotage. This has nothing to do with Ukraine. It's just Russia being really bad at logistics and infrastructure. This shouldn't happen. This system that prevents it is automated in European Union. In Russia, I guess it's not. It's a guy who pulls the levers. Pulled the wrong lever, I guess. It's so stupid. But it does happen. And now, my friends, when we know that Poland, Great Britain and France and northern European countries are getting ready to deploy their troops into Ukraine, United States came out quite with the opposite diplomatic communication. United States Secretary of State has repeatedly said that they will never deploy their troops into Ukraine. Yes, United States officials have said it. Never. So it's not in the future also not in their interest at all, because they don't want a confrontation with Russia, which is okay. Every country has the right, especially a democratic country, has the right to decide their own involvement in this war. And it's our war in European Union and in the European soil. So I understand it. The United States doesn't have to be our babysitter. It's fine. Now the cards are on the table. The United States is stepping away from this war and they will never deploy troops, while Great Britain, France, Poland and perhaps Sweden and Finland are stepping into this conflict. Well, they're already in this conflict because their economic and freedom zone is being attacked by a terrorist state. I couldn't even throw out of the window the option that Estonia would send some troops into Ukraine. I mean, this is already a war against all of our countries. Why should we play that it is not? And if it is, we can defend our countries in any means possible, including military personnel in Ukraine. I'm definitely not opposed to it. Now, my friends, we'll take a look into a Russian university in Moscow, operated by Russian Foreign Affairs Ministry. Many instructors who are FSB, SVR, GRU officers. Now, these are the students of next Russian propagandists. This is the next generation who will push the button that deploys the missiles that hit Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. These are the next future war criminals. And look how they are being taught. Let's watch the video. This is a fragment of a lecture given by Russian Senator Dmitry Rogozin at the University of the Russian Foreign Ministry. Rogozin tells the students about disinformation tactics used against Ukraine. Victory in war primarily depends on discrediting the enemy's political
and military leadership. Therefore, portraying them in the eyes of their own people as inept individuals who have undeservedly risen to power and thus are leading their society towards ruin and death becomes a crucial tactic. The second method to discredit the enemy's leadership is with accusations of corruption, employing vast amounts of deep fakes to depict certain figures on the enemy's side as mere thieves and corrupt officials, basically to show them as untrustworthy. This strategy primarily targets their most influential and popular figures. Additionally, intimidation tactics can be employed by showcasing the strength and the unwavering determination of one's own army in achieving its goals.
It's right there. They don't hide it. They never have hid it. So I don't understand why the West was surprised at the beginning of months of war, because this has always been the Russian foreign doctrine, aggressive military doctrine. The Soviet Union or Tsarist Russian doctrine, even the secret police, was existent in the later years of the Tsarist Russia. For hundreds, yes, hundreds, not 100, but over a century it has been like that. So nothing surprising about it. The more we get in touch with reality, the better we can fight against Russia. So let's stop being surprised and let's now focus our energy to defending our countries. Now, my friends, a daily point from Joni Askola, the Finnish NAFO fella, Finland, who just closed their borders with Russia. Yeah, Joni, representing the great nation of Finland, who is not allowing themselves to be pushed around. I really respect that. And it brings us an analysis about Russian disinformation about Ukrainian manpower shortage. I'll read it to you. Ukraine is gearing up to mobilize a few 100,000 men in 2024, as announced by Zelensky and Syrskyi. This mobilization is a critical step in Ukraine's efforts to safeguard its sovereignty. Russia will launch big offensives this year, and Ukraine not only needs more units at the front, but also to rotate some troops that haven't been rotated yet. Rotation is a huge thing. It's not a flashy liberation of villages, but it's insanely necessary because it's mostly connected to mental health. Soldiers' mental health very directly, I would say most directly, translates into soldiers' fighting capability. One soldier can defend against 10 if he's very determined, very motivated, his mental health is good, he knows why he's there, he has ammunition. Then there's instances in history where one machine gun nest has even 100 soldiers, enemy soldiers lying dead around it. And there are instances where this one soldier in the machine gun nest also abandons the position because the situation was different. So mental health is almost everything with a soldier. This is why rotation is so important. This is why mobilization is so important, to rotate out the troops whose fighting capabilities have decreased. Russian propaganda has been heavily pushing the narrative that Ukraine is running out of men, and this is simply not true. Here are a few simple facts that prove it and that you can use against people who claim that. Based on the data furnished by the Economic Committee of the Ukrainian Parliament, 3.7 million men aged between 25 and 60 are deemed eligible for mobilization, while the remainder are either deployed, residing abroad, dealing with disabilities, or employed in critical sectors. 3.7 million is a lot, and that does not include the millions of men who are between 18 and 25. Yes, another Russian information is that Ukraine is sending 16-year-old boys to fight 17 underage boys. The thing is, Ukrainian army cannot, by the law, mobilize 18 to 25-year-olds right now. Only 25 and older. This is the truth, but unfortunately Russian disinformation has been very successful because a lot of people in the West really do think that Ukraine is in an acute manpower shortage and that they're sending boys to die. Between 18 to 25 who are studying at university, who both are exempted from mobilization. If the situation would get tougher, Ukraine could vote a new law and mobilize them too, which is 3.7 of 25 to 60, and another millions and millions of men who are 18 to 25. We're talking 5-6+ million eligible manpower. They haven't done it, which proves that they are far from running out of men. It is also good to remember that every year new men turn 25 and enter the pool of people who can be mobilized. In conclusion, it is crucial to acknowledge that neither Ukraine nor Russia will run out of men in this war. The Ukrainian victory will result from Russia's failure to achieve its strategic aims rather than from either side experiencing a serious shortage of manpower. A very good analysis. Thank you, Joni. Joni's link is in the description below. Russia and Ukraine both wield huge manpower reserves, and according to this analysis also, Ukraine has about 5, 6, maybe 7 million eligible manpower pool to draw from 18 to 60 years old. They haven't voted any laws to lower the mobilization below 25 because they haven't needed to do so, because they don't need so many men. They don't need millions of men. Yes, they need hundreds of thousands, but we're not talking about millions like the Second World War here. Same with Russia. So, manpower shortage thing is a Russian disinformation campaign. And now, my friends, for the last time in this week, it's time to butcher some names. I've been waiting for it. The weather outside is horrible right now. It's so bad. So I just want to butcher some names to get myself feeling better. So, buy me a coffee, members. Here we go. Jens Kiergaard Larsen. Jak Kershov. Someone, what the hell? It's the 4th time. Someone, what are you doing? Every month again. Rovan Maria Kelly, Jochen Legre, Kevin Kene Stites, Nicholas Edward Houston. Someone. Who the hell is Someone? Again, Someone. Leave me alone, Someone. You're haunting me. Cook Mikkel Galvin. Thank you to these 10 people. And if you like my channel, then today I'm not going to say become a member, but go and contribute to the fundraiser. Let's make it happen, my friends. First Estonian drone production to the Ukrainian armed forces. I'll deliver it for you. Until my next video, my friends, which will be on Monday, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye.